Welcome back. So now we'll be looking at our case for a Mini-ITX PC build, and so far I managed to 3D print a few things. So this is the front panel. Here we see it's 4 sections. I have to divide it by 2 based on the size of my build plate. So I've designed like a dragon on the front of here, and here with the power button. You see where I have a nice little design. This section I've designed that you can mount a fan on the inside. So yeah, we can mount a fan inside here, and there's also inserts. For the side panel itself, there will be a side panel like this, and there will be 2 other parts that will screw into here and into here. Okay, so these are for the back. So the back and the front can have the same design. Yeah, so for the front, so that's going to be screwed onto there. And this part is going to be screwed onto this section like this. So you'll have that kind of a finish like that. So we'll still have ventilation. Now as for the top itself, we have these screwed in. There is an all-in-one cooler that's going to be installed into the top part, and what I'm going to end up doing is get everything installed, motherboard, GPU and everything, and in the back here we'll have the power supply and everything. So for the back itself, we will have this section that will fit like that, and of course make sure I have the right parts. Yeah, I should have labeled these. And this section is going to fit like that, so it's going to fit like that. So you will have, yeah, so that's going to be like that, and this is going to be like this. So you'll have breathing room for the power supply, because the power supply is going to be mounted on this SFX power supply. So you have breathing room for both. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually reveal what all-in-one cooler that's going to be used into this case. So I'm going to grab that and we'll have a look. Now for this cooler, never heard about this brand before, but after doing some research, I need a cooler that could fit onto the 2066 socket, and so far this cooler actually can do that. So let's go on in and see what's in the box. Okay, I have the English section. Okay, this is the assembly kit. So we are looking for 20XX. And here we have the bracket. I'm hoping the bracket that was already in the motherboard can be used to mount this cooler. It seems as if it have the same design. So we'll get to that. It seems to have a display also that displays temperature. And these are the box of accessories and mounting kit. I'll set that aside. And here we have the cooler itself. Okay, come in two sections. Alright, so it seems to have the same mounting bracket, so I may not have to uninstall the one that's on the board itself. And it comes with an LCD screen, which I'm assuming will require some software to get this up and running. And we have 4 magnets, so you can see where it fits on top of that, and you have different orientation based on how it's going to be inside the case. And here we have some RGB fan. I'm not quite sure if they are, but yes. So I may not use these RGB fans. I think this RPM is 1800. So I'm going to switch over for these Be Quiet fans, where the RPM for this is, okay, so these are 1600. But I'll see basically which one I prefer, because I want this to run as quiet as possible. Okay, so these are 1600 and these are 18, so I think I'll leave these. And yeah, so we'll get everything inside our case and set up, and then we'll look at the final result of how everything goes. Alright, so I'm putting this together. So I managed to get the cooler in. So it's all mounted in. Now, being that this motherboard only comes with one fan header, which is the CPU, so what I'm going to be doing, I'll be using this that I took up from another case that's no longer being used. So this will go into the CPU fan header, and for the 4 fans, so 2 fans here, and then put 2 fans in the front. So let's kind of start get that all set up. Alright, so let's run these cables. efficient through the hole that I want it to. Get that out of the way. There we go. That tool is too small, so I'm just going to use this one right here. Alright, so we need to clean that off. And again, this is our $40 CPU. So it's the i7 7800X. It's 6 core. Then again, I may end up upgrading the CPU, but being that it plays game and it's not giving an issue, so I may leave it as it is. Alright, so let's get this up mounted. One most important part I forgot, the AIO shield. Let's turn around and grab that. Alright, so we're just gonna drop in our AIO shield. Snap in, and we're just gonna drop our so we have our motherboard seated. Now we're gonna get our cooler. So before we get that in, we want to make sure we put our connected, which is so that connects to that. I'm just making sure. Kind of a tight spot. There we go. We have that installed. Sure. This, because if I do it like that, when I put this on, it's going to get covered. So let's try a different position. I'll probably just switch this around. Try like this and see. So that seemed to be okay like that, but sure, next drop our GPU in and see how it fits. Alright, that seemed to fit okay. Okay, that's fine. So let's get that. Alright, so now we get that set up. I'm wondering if I should still put a fan here, but okay, shall let this be an intake. So that's going to there. So this can go right there. Alright, get some screws for that. So I don't have enough screw for both fans, so I'm going to leave this out until a later time. So let's get our power supply mounted up. So I'm looking, I could have sworn this out a optional gate, so it should be around the front here, where I should plug this section in. So one of these are for the pump for that. So let's check the manual. Number 9, which is this one. So fan pump goes into this first one right here. Okay, that's what the pump. Okay, so being that we don't have enough screws for this, so I'll leave this out and I will plug one of the fan here. Push the rest through that hole right there. We'll monitor it on the other side, and this other fan, this is the RGB. I'm not quite sure. So this is a different connection, so we're not going to be using this. So I wrote that through the back as well. All those extra wires. Pull this back through here. Let that connect up. Through these extra wires. Go. So let's get this connected up. So this controls the LCD that's on the top of the pump. So one section will go into our USB 2.0. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's already HD. So I'm not seeing that connection on this board. Okay, so it is there. Let's see where this is. says it's there, so let's have, okay. So we'll need that, so I need to remove this. Carefully eject this right here. Alright, so let's try and plug that in. It's so weird where they have this. So where this is, there's a dummy out by the end. Where this does not. So this pin right here, that's for the power delivery. Okay, so where the power switch and everything. Okay, so that is that. Okay. That behind there is for different connection. So this doesn't seem to fit anywhere. So okay, so that's where it is. So it is on this board right here. I never figured that part out. Plugs into that. It's gonna be a mess of a cable management, but I will get that figured out. Here we go. So let's GPU in. That's it. So set, and X connect up power. Power. That's really true. This section here. This almost seems like a big mess. Let's put it through the middle section. That's not ideal. Alright, so we're gonna get our power switch all connected. So that's for the light, switch, power. So let's jump back into a manual again and let's see what connects to what. Okay, power. So it looks like this. So power goes to power right here. So power switch right there. Reset with over reset on this. Power LED. And these are the power LEDs, so almost goes there. This goes there. And our hard drive LED. Okay, well, they're connected. So many cables. So this that goes to the pump for the display. I may rotate under since it's so long. And that's fine. And through the back here. Through here and plug. Which is perfect. So the rest of this I can just pull out to get in here as clean as possible. This is for pump. We can pull that like so. Be nice and clean. Alright, so for our power supply, we want the fan to fence out, so So I just need to pass through our 12 pin there. Alright, GPU and our CPU plug. And I'll show it here. Alright, so CPU plug is to the front. Just get that plugged in. I'll get to our 24 pin. GPU plug in. Okay, so there's not much cable, which is good. That looked clean so far, so what we need to do is to get our top panel back on. So that's going to fit like that. Going to fit like that. So it's a tight fit, so let's that seems good enough. Going to catch those in on the inside. So now let me take this panel off. So that we're at the top panel on, we can get this all screwed in. Making sure putting the correct panel on. Everything here looks connected. Alright. Top part is on. Front seam fine. because I want to see this display and so it works, I'm just going to put on one side of this panel. This would be it. So this side panel I may end up redesign it to have a window in it. And a better way to actually attach it to the case. This is a lot of screwing to do. I think this screw is stripped, so I'm going to take it out. I'll leave that as is. Now before I lock this part up, let's power this on and see. Port cable for that. we have probably will need a mouse and keyboard for this. Yes, so we'll need that to get this up and running. We have our display that's running inside that, which is perfect. Our fan is running. Alright, so I will just grab a keyboard for that and get right into Windows and see. Okay, so I've connected our mouse and keyboard. So let's do F1 and continue. And we should boot right into Steam big picture mode. Alright, so we're in Windows, and just give it a moment and we should the one thing I'm going to have to do is to go into the BIOS and make sure that the optional pump option is enabled. So I will do a restart and we'll get to that and we'll see how it looks. Alright, so it's doing a restart right now, and then we're going to go into our BIOS. Okay, and we're just going to check under okay, we'll switch to that. Let's switch to performance mode, being that that's how we set it for inside Windows. Water pump temperature source, CPU. Alright, so now we set that, we can just save and exit. Now for the display on the water pump itself, I know there's some software that has to be installed and set up, which I will do that and show how it works in the next video. I think there's a lot of options to whatever animation that can be put on the side, so that's something I'll do and get set up. Okay, so there we go. So we're just gonna do a slight walk around on the case and everything that's installed. So you can see what we've done so far. So for here we have our power button, and we can see where it lights up. See that the display. So I guess after install the software and everything, I can put animation on that section. This whole side panel I may end up redoing. One thing I've noticed, because the cable for the GPU is kind of sticking out, so I may do a redesign of this section. But the top panel is fine. It was done perfectly. Front panel. So some screws are coming in for this part, so I'll get the fan and everything installed, and I'll do a video with all of that when it's all done. This section seemed to be fine, so I can put the back panel on. Yeah, so I think that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. It was a tedious process going in, because it was basically unplanned, so I just install whatever and make do with what happened, or whatever, you know, problem or issue that comes up. But so far it is running everything, which is perfect. We have our Steam and everything, so I will be doing gameplay benchmark, because I did get some more games downloaded on Steam. There was some sale going on, and I bought a few more games that we'll be benchmarking and see how it runs, both in 1440p and 4K. But yeah, this is a nice machine, and got it built before the GPU hike. Got this GPU for this, get it quite cheaply. So yeah, thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.